Welcome to my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a night.
Hey, welcome back to the Maguire Motorsports YouTube channel. I'm out here in the garage today, and you can see behind me the OBS pickup. We're going to be doing a little work on it today. What I have in mind today is we're going to start looking at a few of the little fine-tuning projects that we had, just to make the truck that much better. It performed really well after we completed all of our modifications. Run out great, but there are a few things that need to be addressed. What we're going to look at today is the taillights on the truck. What we realized was that when we have the running lights on, park lights, marker lights, or any of that type of stuff, the taillights malfunction. The left side works perfect. The passenger side will just go completely out. However, if the running lights are off and you apply the brakes or the turn signals, the taillights work great, or at least the signals and the brake lights do. So what I'm thinking is it's going to be that little, I think it's a circuit board type deal on the back of the taillight housing that we'll take a look at, see if we can address that, see if we can get it fixed. And we'll talk about, what else is coming up with this truck and some of the other projects. So let's go ahead, dive into this OBS. I'm going to go move the truck forward so we can get behind it and have a little more room to show you guys what we got going on. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Okay guys, so we've moved the truck forward so we can have better access back here. It's a little tight, we're sort of back up against the wall. But we're going to go ahead and show you guys what the taillights are doing. So hang tight, I'm going to run up here. I'll show you with the running lights off how the taillights operate. Then I'll cut the running lights on and I'll activate the brakes again, and you can kind of see what's happening with it. So let me run up here and show you that. Alright, so I'll play that back to make sure, but hopefully that showed what the issue is with the taillights, and we'll show you how to take care of it. Okay, so you've seen how this passenger taillight is what's giving us issues. It works fine, again, with the running lights off, but when you have to turn the running lights on in the evening time, this taillight goes completely out when you apply the brakes. I think it does the same with turn signal and hazard lights. So that presents an issue. We want it to be legal for one thing, so we don't get pulled over all the time, but also I just think it looks bad. If you're running, lights and you go hit the brakes and one light goes completely out. Now, with the original taillights, it didn't have this issue. So we replaced these taillights simply because, let me show you the old one here. These are the original compared to the new. I mean, there's no comparison. That looks better on the truck, but we want them to function correct. Now, what I'm going to attempt to do, and what's supposed to control all this, is this little back piece here. So you can see it's got a screw there and a screw out there. It'll lift off. The bulbs are contained in that. You can see it seals to the back of the housing. Sort of a weird setup, but it works. I've seen a lot of people asking why we didn't just polish these out. For one, it was a time crunch. Would they have polished to look as good as this? Maybe, maybe not. But also, it's got some other flaws, like some kind of little defect there, right there. I just think the new taillights were the way to go. And for the money that it cost, it was hardly anything. So the next question is going to be how to get the taillight out. 2 screws, guys. Open the tailgate, you got one right there at the top. Panning down, you have one right here in the bottom, just a regular 4-way screw. So we'll go ahead and take this out, and we will show you guys what we do here and test it and see if it works. So hang tight, let me get set up, and we'll see what we can do for you. Okay, so we have these 2 screws I showed you out of the housing. But what I wanted to show you is, since there's no other screws, these don't just pull straight back or anything. They sort of rotate out this way, because there's some little hooks here that sort of hook into those little square holes to hold it in on that outside edge. Next, we're going to take this wiring harness off, and then we'll look at taking the little back panel off. Just want to catch you guys up, let you know what we got going on here. Okay guys, so something I noticed when I pulled the housing out that we may try before we switch this whole back plate off. If you look closely in here at the pins, there's 1, 2, 3. Gotta get the right light in there, hang on. And that's part of the problem, is the 4th pin right there. You can barely make it out. Right in that, right there. See right there at my thumb tip, you can see a little shiny spot is bent upward. It's a good possibility that pin wasn't even making connection, which may be the problem. So I'm going to try to take a screwdriver and barely pry that down, connect it back, and see if it works. So let's check that out and see if we can make that work for us. Okay, so I've not put the screws back in that passenger taillight just yet, but I just showed you where we had that little pin that was bent. And that's probably just been an installation error on my behalf. I've sort of bent it out and tried to plug it back in. Felt like it went in pretty smooth. I'm going to try it again and see if it works. So I'm going to walk up here to the truck, try it with, of course, the no running lights on, and I'll cut the running lights on and try it and see if it functions properly, or if we need to go ahead and change the back of the taillight out. So let's try that out. Alright guys, so did that fix it? Let me know in the comments, did that fix that or not? Let's take a look at the video and see what I can figure out. Alright guys, so I just went back, looked at the video. Seems like we did fix it with that. Like I say, it's just that, let me show you on the old tail right here. When you look, you know, again, the old tail light flipped on the back side. Right here is that circuit board, or whatever you want to call it. But inside here, you can see there's 4 pins there, 3 right together and 1 off to itself. This one on this end, when I installed the taillights, I must have bent it down trying to get it to plug up. And now that I'm thinking about it, I did have a little bit of difficulty sliding one of them in. So that was my mistake, which can happen when you're doing this kind of stuff. However, you know, it was causing us an issue. Something I will say is, just as I was researching what to do to fix that problem, because I was going over, you know, we've replaced every light on this truck, so I thought maybe I'd done something incorrect. Well, I did. But I thought maybe the LED third brake light that we put on is causing something, because I know that sometimes can cause issues. But it turns out it was just that pin that was turned down, the electrical connector pin. But with that being said, if that's not your case, if you've not switched taillights out or anything, or had them in and out, it's probably not going to be your issue. If you just have one that starts acting funny. From what I understand, on the back side of your taillight, you can take out these 2 screws, one on the bottom here, one on the top up here, pull this out, replace it with a new piece. and it'll probably fix your issue. I don't even know if they sell those at an auto parts store or anything, but you could very well go to a junkyard. You guys know these OBS trucks or GMT 400, whatever you want to call them. There's a million of them out there. That'd be easy to find in a junkyard somewhere. Or like I say, you could possibly order it from a part supplier, an Amazon, what have you. Or just order new taillights for it. But I mean, that's an easy enough fix. That's not what our issue was, but that's where I thought we were going with it today. So this ended up being a super easy 5-minute fix, which I'm happy about. Because I want everything on this truck to function just as it should. And I think we got there now. So we'll go ahead and put the old taillights back in storage. We might eventually one day polish them up real good, make them look nice to use, either on this truck or another project. And there's nothing actually wrong with them, but we was in a pinch trying to get the truck finished to go to the rod run. So buying some nice new taillights was the easiest way for me at that time. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this mess cleaned up, back the truck up, and then I'll tell you a little more of what's going on. Alright guys, so we got our project finished right there, which is good. That's something really been bugging me that I wanted to address. But the taillights are functioning just as they should now, which is what we want. We still got some more things we want to do. I had the little video of it pulling out and backing back up under the lift there. I'm sure y'all heard the brake squeal. That's coming from the back. Where the truck is set so much, I think it's just got a bunch of dirt and debris in those rear hubs. We're going to take those off in one of the next videos, clean them out good. Something I've been considering on the truck is doing a disc brake swap in the back. I've seen some nice kits. I'm also interested if there's any, and maybe you guys can comment and let me know what you've done to do a disc brake conversion on one of these trucks. I know they got like the little shop kit, things like that. But is there any OEM, something we could find in a junkyard and replace? That would be great. Because saving money is always pretty good, even though those one kits are really not all that expensive. So that's something we want to do. Also in the comments put, is that something you would do on this truck? Because we're going for a pretty nice little sport truck, hot rod type vehicle. And I'll be honest with you, I just hate drum brakes. I hate doing any type of repairs on them. I'd much rather work on a disc brake. They're just so much simpler to me. But is that what you would do with this truck? And if so, which way would you go? Would you just buy the kit from, I think it's Little Shop Manufacturing that makes them for the back? Or is there an OEM setup you would use? Something else we've been going back and forth on with this truck. As you probably already know, it's a very low mile truck. It's got 46,000 miles on it right now, which is incredibly low miles for a almost 30-year-old truck. It's 29 years old as of this year. It's got the 4.3 in it. It runs like a top. I'm a V8 guy. Would love to have an LS in it. We thought about even a regular style small block, and even found a nice engine out of a LT1 Camaro that would work for it. Maybe convert it to a 6-speed because it had a 6-speed that came with it. That would be pretty cool. We've obviously talked about LS swaps, which I think is what I like the best right now. Would love to do a 6.0 or something like that, or an LT4 with the blower on it. But I'm not totally against even a 4.8 or a 5.3. Another thing we've kicked around, and I'm hoping you guys will get in the comments, kind of let me know what do you think about this. But I've also kicked around the idea of keeping the 4.3 in it. I mean, it runs great. I didn't realize they made as much for the engine as they do. They make oversized camshafts for them. But we talked about maybe doing a Pro Charger or a turbo on the 4.3. It would definitely be different, at least in my neighborhood it would. It'd make plenty of power for the street. It would probably melt those tires down. And if we could make it sound the part, I think I would be pleased with it. So in the comments, drop what you would do. Would you keep the 4.3? Would you go LS? There's a lot of options. Dad continually says he still wants to put a Pontiac in it because we're Pontiac people. If you can't tell, the old 64 goat up there. But that's sort of some ideas we've been kicking around. Like I said, we're going to address the brakes. Eventually we'll do something with the engine. We got the taillights fixed now. May have to do some type of fender rolling or something because it's only on the most extreme bumps, but it will rub a little bit on this front right tire and also on the left, or I'm sorry, the passenger rear. These trucks, if you don't know, they set a little off center, the wheels do. Or the chassis does, I guess, within the truck. That's something I've heard everybody mention at this point, which, you know, is weird. And I said even in the 60s and 70s, GM had that same thing going on for whatever reason. But we may try to address that. We've also kicked around the idea of if we do another rear end with disc brakes, possibly narrowing that rear end and putting it in the truck. That way just take the back wheels in, maybe even run like a larger tire, like a 315 radio on the 20. But that's just some ideas we're kicking around. I'd love to see what you guys think down in the comments. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, send this to your friends. We've been making really good progress lately. Or at least for us it is. We're almost 270 subscribers. We're doing real good. We'd love to get to that 1,000 subscriber mark and keep marching on. That's sort of what we're wanting. I think this truck will help us with it. I also want to talk about some of our other projects we got going on. Of course, the GTO up top there. We're hoping to get some racing videos out with it this year. Hopefully, last year we had so much going on we weren't able to even get the car out. But we'll do some stuff with it. It's a pretty trick setup that I'll show you guys eventually. The Blazer that I got, the man van Blaze, I've called it a little bit. Some things we want to do with it. I'm going to lift it, tint the window, some paint correction work, try to make it look a little better. We still have the 71 F100. I'll be honest, we've not touched it. Again, we got a lot of other things going on that's just preventing us from working on everything as much as we would like to, but we're trying to still get some stuff out for you guys that are following along with us on this little journey. So hopefully you're enjoying what you're seeing. I think this has been one of the top vehicles on the channel so far. So let's keep it rolling. Keep liking, commenting, subscribing, share it with your friends. Try to help us get going. Anything you can do like that would help us out greatly. So to the next one, you guys be safe. Have a good day and see you next time.